Hey, what's up, everyone? I have something interesting here. Um, in theory, you've probably seen this, but this specific thing I'm going to show you, you might not have. What I have here are adapters, and you've probably seen these for sale in shotguns. There are some companies out there that make shotgun adapters where you can, let's say, have a 12 gauge break action shotgun and have something that'll allow you to shoot, let's say, 22, 9mm, 410, and shoot them in a shotgun. They're pretty common. Lots of companies make them, varying quality. Um, and this is kind of on that idea. The difference is these are not shotgun adapters. These are actually adapters for 26.5mm flare guns. That was a pretty popular size flare guns. Now you see mainly the 12 gauge flares, but for several years that's what was used. And if you go on a place like, say, like Gunbroker or other shops, you can usually get Milsurp flare guns, the common ones sometimes for under $100, and some of the fancier ones are more collectible, might go, $200 or $300. But like I said, varying price, and some are cheap. So there's this company called Runway Subcal, and they make subcaliber devices for 26.5. So I picked up a couple of them, wanted to show you. This one right here, Runway, there we go, Runway Subcaliber. This one's 45 long Colt to 410, and you probably can't see in there too well, but if you do, you'll notice that these are about 4 inches long, and you got it's smooth for about 3 inches, to accommodate the chamber, and then maybe the last inch or so has the rifling. So I wouldn't expect the greatest marksmanships with 45 Colt, because, like I said, you're going to have quite a jump in the smooth portion for the bullet, and then only 1 inch to actually stabilize it. But pretty cool nonetheless. This is actually made out of, I believe it has a steel barrel, and as you can see, like a steel barrel insert, and then it has aluminum around it. And then the second one I have is pretty cool. This is also made by Runway Subcal. You can see, I don't know if you can really see it that well, but Runway Subcal in Copper Hill, Tennessee. And then as you can see, oops, I'm sorry about that. And then as you can see here, it's marked 26.5mm to 22 LR. This is pretty cool because this has a rifled steel barrel, and as you can see at the top here, it's kind of ensconced in plastic. Now I'm not sure quite how large the steel barrel is for the 22. I'm thinking it's substantially wider than this portion right here that you're seeing. Otherwise, it wouldn't stay in the plastic, I wouldn't think. Now, I've seen some people complain that it kind of has these edges over here, and that it's not like a total steel or aluminum like this one is. But I don't think it's really necessary. And chances are the steel barrel is probably about the thickness of your regular single-shot 22 caliber. And plus, don't forget, it's being shot out of like a 50-year-old steel flare gun. So I got to tell you, I don't know what the PSIs are for a 26.5 flare, but honestly, I trust it. I mean, I'm going to fire it soon, so haven't done it yet. So the other cool thing about this is I thought when I bought this is just 22 LR, but it actually fires 22 CB, 22 BB, 22 short, 22 long, and 22 long rifles. So you can shoot 5 calibers out of this, 2 calibers out of this, plus the 26.5 flare. So you can actually shoot, say, 8 different rounds out of one flare gun. Not bad. Now, some of you might be wondering about legality. Well, they got it covered, sort of. This letter came with it, and I'm going to hold this up for you a little bit. Not so that you can read the entire thing, but so you can pause it if you'd like to read it. And if you do want to purchase these, or you want to look into them a little bit more, there are a couple of stores online that sell them. What I'd probably do is just Google it and put, Runway Subcal, and, see what you can find. Shop around a little bit, and also don't forget to also take shipping into account, because Some places are kind of crazy with the shipping, other ones not so bad. Now, on the back here, I found this kind of interesting. They actually give you a copy of the ATF letter. So if someone ever tries to say that this is illegal, it violates federal law or anything, now keep in mind state laws are a whole separate thing, so make sure if you purchase these, you are not going awry of state laws or you will have your life made hell. But as far as federal laws go, here is an ATF letter with their opinion on these, so I'm just going to leave this here for a second so you can pause it and read it. And basically, the gist of this, keep in mind, I am not a lawyer. I am a guy who read a letter that was given to me with an adapter, so take that for what it's worth. But the gist of it is that they cited the NFA and the GCA, and what they said was that a flare gun is not a firearm. It's a it's a signaling device, and that alone the subcaliber devices are also not a firearm. You put them together, you got a firearm. It's kind of interesting here if you just look at the top of it here. The combination of the subcaliber device and a 26.5 flare gun constitutes a Title I firearm and should be treated as such when considering safety, legality, possession, and ownership. Please read the attached BATF letter concerning legality. Transferring ownership of a flare gun that has the subcaliber device installed could be a violation of federal, state, and local laws. We do not recommend that you ever do this. These instructions are not to be considered as legal advice. You should always verify your position of ownership and transference with your competent legal counsel. So, basically, this is not a firearm. This is not a firearm. The flare gun that you can see right here, if we had it with us and I purposely chose not to have my flare gun on the table, you can imagine why, because of YouTube, So as you can see, this right here is not a firearm. It's a flare gun. It's a signaling device. And like I said, these are nothing. But once you put them together, you basically have a firearm. It seems totally 100% legal to me, according to federal law. And like I said, state law, I don't see anything in my state where it would be illegal by any point. It's like you're making a single shot judge, basically. So I won't be going to the range. Well, I will be going shooting someplace that's kind of a closed range. So I'm not going to be using this one, but I will be checking out this one. Probably I will break it in with some Calibris, just because. So I'll check it out with some Calibris. If you're not familiar with those are 22 LR that fire only off the primer. So they're pretty quiet, pretty weak. So I'll probably try it with those. Then maybe I'll up it to like a standard velocity and stuff. So pretty cool stuff. Like I said, if you want to get these, shop around because they are various prices. And I will tell you one thing. This one right here, $59.99. I think this was way overpriced. But where are you going to find a 26.5 millimeter adapter that lets you shoot 410 and 45 Colt in your flare gun? It's not like everywhere you go you've seen these things. As far as I know, this is the only company that makes them. Could be wrong about that, but it's the only one I found. This one was actually really cheap. This one was, I think, $20 or $22. So, it's plastic basically with a steel barrel. So that was pretty cheap, pretty reasonable. So I kind of rationalized it by saying I'm paying too much for this and I'm getting a good deal on this. So it's kind of like I paid $40 a piece. So, I have some fun and it's something cool. It's a conversation piece. It's something a little different, something I can talk to you guys about. So again, if you have a 26.5 flare gun, definitely check these out, even if you just pick up the 22. And if you're not familiar with 26.5 millimeter flare guns, absolutely, check out some online sources that you go to, because there's a lot of mil-serp ones and you can get them cheap. My advice is maybe check out like the Polish ones and the Romanian ones. Those tend to go the cheapest, and they're made really well. I have some of them, and they're pretty cool. The Russian ones are also nice. Those are going to cost more. The US 26.5s are going to cost more. And I hear excellent things about the Germans, that they're built like tanks. I've never handled one of the German flare guns because They're a lot more pricey, and for the money I'd have to spend on a German flare gun, I'd rather just buy like a semi-auto pistol or a revolver or an expensive rifle, to be honest with you. But anyway, I hope you found this informative and you got some cool stuff to blow some of your next paycheck on. So I will talk to you later. Have a good one.